Hey everyone, it's Tammy at Walnut Creek Bath Boutique. Today I am doing a remake of Black Sea. I love Black Sea. It is my favorite wax melt I've ever made, and it's one of my favorite soaps. I get it from Candle Science, and it's probably considered a masculine scent. I don't really consider it more masculine. I have a more of a clean, it's got a clean scent to me. But man, this is so good. I love Black Sea. And I've had two customers that one buys Black Sea from me. That's all he buys. All he wants is Black Sea. And the other one buys Indian Sandalwood. And that's all he wants is Indian Sandalwood. And I am out of both. And they both have said, they don't even know each other. They have both said they're going to have to use Zest until I get them in stock. I can't have that. We just can't have that. They can't go to Zest. I have to make some Black Sea. I can't have that. So anyway, that's why we're making Black Sea. We're going to get started right away. I think I'm going to make this in layers, starting with darker and moving my way up to lighter. And I have this silver graphite from Micah's and More that I kind of want to use up because it's in a bag and I hate bags. So I thought, well, that would be a good bottom layer. Then I may do the Caribbean blue, and that's a brambleberry color. And then I have a couple Micah's and More colors. I get a lot of my colors from Micah's and More. Then peacock, I thought that was really pretty, and then ending with turquoise. So I think that's kind of my plan, as long as I'm thinking that my layers aren't too thin. I want them to be a little bit beefy. So I may drop a color. I haven't really decided yet. I'm going to get ready. Let's move the camera and we'll make some soap. Okay. I am struggling still with this lighting and the tripod and everything. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I have to figure it out soon. But anyway, in here, oops, not yet. First, sodium lactate in my lye water and kaolin clay in my oils. So, I'm trying to figure out like what angles we like, what you like to see, what I'm comfortable with, where I want my camera placement, my lighting. I'm just trying different things here lately, especially since I have this table now and I have new lighting and microphone now. So that's all good. Should hear me better. But I'm still trying to figure it out. I tape on an iPad right now, and I'm trying to talk myself out of getting a camera because I have the money set aside for it, but it's just like biting that bullet of spending, I don't know. I probably could get by with about $700, but we'll see. I'm gonna try to keep with my iPad for now and just kind of see how it goes. Okay, so for this design, I am going to use my 27 bar mold, and I'm going to do 4 layers, I think. So I have my cups here. I'm just going to evenly distribute this in the 4, if I can. I just took this to emulsification and no further. Honestly, I don't need to make 27 bars of soap. I have already had a craft show cancel on me this year, and it was a big one. It was a 2-weekend one in February and March, the last weekend of February, first weekend of March. And it's just a really good craft show for me. It's tough that they canceled that already. So the problem is all of my craft shows have been canceling, right? And I don't necessarily need any soap right now. I did pretty well over Christmas, honestly. And I think everybody who ordered from me, I'm not complaining by any stretch. I'm just saying that, I have so much soap that I don't really need to make it. But because this is such a popular scent, I'm okay with making a big batch. I don't think with my Indian sandalwood, I'm going to make maybe tomorrow or this week sometime. I don't think, oh shoot, I forgot my goat milk. I don't think I'm going to make a big batch on that. I think that'll just be a regular batch. We're good. Okay, I'm going to get this in. Hoo-wee, this is full. Ugh. I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to make a mess. Let me rethink this. Let's be smart. Where's my melting? All right, hang on. There is no reason to be silly with this. Being smart, not always my strong suit. I thought that was so funny that I had two people tell me that they were going to Zest because I didn't have their soaps in. That was just kind of ironic that it happened in the same week and everything. It's definitely gray. That's okay. All right, I'm going to put about a fourth of this in here. All right, let me see if I can put this in view. If you want to, let me know what you prefer. A couple of my most recent videos, I've kind of had my face in the view and the table, and I think that might be more interesting, but at the same time, you're not really able to see what I'm doing. And a friend of mine suggested almost having two cameras, one above me and one just back. And I could do that, but I didn't even think about it before I started taping today. I have done the picture-in-picture thing when I made bath bombs one time. Oops. All right, first layer's in. I'm going to just take the spoon. And I'm just going to texture it. It's a little soft still, but maybe by the time I get the other color ready. This is called a spoon texture layer, I think. That's what I call it. So I want the next layer, I'm going to maybe touch that up here in a minute. I want the next layer to be a little bit looser because I want it to flow into those crevices that I just created. But I want it thick enough that it's also going to, spoon texture too. I love making soap. It's somewhat ironic that I actually started a YouTube channel of making soap when I don't need any soap. I don't need to make any soap. It's like, what? What was I thinking? So that's why most of my channel right now is not soap related, sadly. Ooh, that may be a little difficult. That looks a little dry. It's a mica, it's not a colorant. But it's not very fine. So I hope this comes through okay. It's also quite blue. Whew, shocking. All right, let's see what this looks like. I had to blend it a little bit more than I wanted to just because I was seeing a few speckles in there. I'm pretty sure I've already established I am probably one of the messiest soap makers ever. And I'm going to shut this before I spill it. Been there, done that. All right, let me see if I can. Ooh, yeah, this is hardening up nicely. I don't remember this fragrance oil being too cantankerous, but I'm going to have to get a move on a little bit. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Get all of that out of there. I probably won't clean it like I did the last one because I'm going to go straight to another blue. But I do want most of that out of there. I don't want it to accelerate my next batch. Hang on, I'm going to tap it. Just doing a quick spoon because that gray, by the time I got to it, was too thick to texture. So I better do it now and just get it where I want it. This is my fourth time making this soap, and every time I changed the design, every single time. The first time I made it is my favorite, and if I remember, I'm going to pop a picture of it right here. It was so pretty. The second two times I made it, I wasn't as thrilled with the design. But I really liked that first time I made it. But I just can't help myself, and I changed the design. This was a lot looser. It's so weird how fragrances can behave. I change the design every time I make a soap, usually. I hardly ever go back to the same design. Rarely. Which I know it makes it hard for some of my customers because they'll say, well, I want that soap that was white with the blue lines in it. And, you know, I was like, I'm not exactly sure which soap you're talking about. But, you know, I can't help myself. And you know, part of me is like, okay, I'm sorry about that. But another part of me is like, this is, I don't consider myself an artist, but it's part of my creative process and part of my enjoyment in making soap is just the colors and the texturing and the, you know, the creative process of it. And yeah, this is one of the reasons I love it so much. And if I did the same design every single time, I think I would get just so bored. I can't wait to cut this. I think this is going to be really pretty. It's thickening up quite fast. I'm glad I went with the 4 layers. Okay. Let's do the color first. And then this is turquoise, right? Yeah, turquoise mica. Now, I'm sorry. Yes. I I work at a hospital. So some of you may recognize what this is. For those of you that don't recognize it, it is a urine specimen cup. But obviously they're clean and they're sterile. So when the hospital said they weren't going to be able to use those anymore, the lab said they had no use for them anymore. It's like, I'll take them. Sterile cups, you betcha. I do. I utilize them. But they are great. And gosh darn, I'm messy. And I've gotten a lot of use out of them. And that's what I store most of my colorants in, if they don't come in a jar already. So this is like the end of January, and there is a beautiful snowfall going on outside right now. And I'm in the basement missing it. So I'm going to go up when I'm done with this and maybe just kind of look outside. It's so pretty. Big flakes. I'm just glad I'm not out in it. I don't like driving in it, but I'll stay at home in my pajamas and watch it all night long. Spoon texturing for me, I've never gotten really the hang of it. Sure, inside I don't have a problem, but the top, I don't know. I never could seem to be happy with the outcome. But I'm going to spoon texture this and I'm going to call it good. No glitter. No glitter. Okay. I will bring you guys back tomorrow. We're going to cut it up. I'm really happy with it so far. I can't wait to see what it looks like tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day and we are going to get ready to cut this Black Sea. Really happy with the top. It did have just a little bit of soda ash on it, but I steamed it just a little while ago and it's dry now, just to kind of get rid of it. It had just a little bit. I almost didn't even mess with it. Oh, it's heavy. Okay. I love these silicone liners. It gives such a smooth surface to the edge of your soaps. There we go. All right, now we have to cut this into logs. I'm just cleaning them up now. You just kind of, take off a little bit of the edges, the corners. It just makes it a little bit nicer in your hand when you use it for the first time. It doesn't take off much. I used to plane my soaps, which is basically taking a very thin layer off of basically all four sides I would do. I don't do that anymore. I just felt like it was a bit wasteful. No, it doesn't take off very much soap, but I'd prefer to give that to you than to keep it. I have plenty of shreds without doing that. I'm pretty happy with the soap. Still that first soap that I made, the first Black Sea I made, is still my favorite. I thought it was just so beautiful. But I'm not exactly sure now when I made that. And I think that the formula may have been reformulated. A couple of years ago, there was a fire, I think in Germany, at one of the manufacturers of a fragrance component. And I guess this component is in a huge amount of fragrances. And so all of these suppliers or all of these manufacturers of these fragrance oils had to reformulate all of their fragrances without that one component. Isn't that crazy? So, because I don't think, I'd have to look at my notes, but I don't think that the soap accelerated on me when I made it the first time, or even the second time. But the last 2 times that I've made this, it's been really thick pretty quickly. Like, I would not want to do anything other than a layered soap with this fragrance anymore. And I'm not sure if it was one of them that had been reformulated, or, you know, a lot of the companies are reformulating to get rid of phthalates. And so it's just any little thing you do to a fragrance can then cause it to react differently in soap. And yeah, so I don't know, something's different about it. It still smells great, so that part's good. But it doesn't behave as well as it used to in my soap. So I'm just going to have to take a note. Make sure I don't do anything but layers from now on. Last one. Well, I was so busy talking, I wasn't really looking at my soap, and I need to pick out one for pictures. I've got 3 little samples here. I make 27 in that mold. Gives me 27 bars. It's supposed to give you 30, but I can't go any narrower than I do. But this is not a bad one. And you can kind of see the waves. I was kind of going for the whole wave layered with the spoon texture. So I'm okay with that. Okay. Oh, we've got some shadows. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.